etorriak zinemaldira. Hemen, dakizuen moduan, New Directors saileko sortzaileak, zuzendariak elkarrizketatuko ditugu datozen egun hauetan. Las entrevistas correspondientes a la sección de New Directors, un café con, nos trasladarán la razón de ser y el porqué de las creaciones que se han presentado a esta sección, que, como saben, son los primeros o segundos trabajos de los directores y directoras. Tenemos el placer de contar con Christian Johannes Koch, director de la película SPAGAT, Grande Carte, su ópera prima que se estrena mundialmente en esta 68 edición del Cinema al Día. As we say in Basque language, ongi etorri, Christian. How are you?
I'm very fine, thanks.
Welcome again, because this is not your first time here in the San Sebastian Film Festival, as you were here in 2014, yeah? Taking part in Nest section. It has been several years. How have you developed your work during this time?
Well, the movie I showed in 2014, or was it 13? I'm not sure exactly. In Nest was my first fiction short film I did during my studies. And I think coming to Sebastian, or being invited to San Sebastian with this movie was kind of it was a starting point. And maybe it was also the moment I realized, okay, maybe I will really be a filmmaker one day. But then I continued my studies, and yeah, I shot several short films, and I started to work on SPAGAT. It was a long process, finishing school and then getting into finance and moving back to Switzerland after 12 years in Germany. And I'm very honored being invited again to San Sebastian with my first feature film. Yeah.
For us, it's a great pleasure to have you again. Well, as you may know, we cannot reveal as many details of the movie, as the premiere is tomorrow here in the Cinema al Día. So can you give us some hints?
I think it's a movie who's quite important for this time, because it's talking about identity, about love, betrayal. It's talking about how we want to live all together, and maybe also about the question, when does individual responsibility for a communal life starts. And I think in this crisis we have everywhere at the moment, these are also questions that we have to be aware of this question and need to be discussed. And it's a movie really from the central of Switzerland. It's maybe a movie that doesn't show you the picture of Switzerland you have in mind, and you're invited to see it, of course.
I highly recommend it. The title of the film is SPAGAT, which literally is an exercise for flexibility, where you end up with your legs wide open, pointing each one in opposite directions. Does this metaphor have any special meaning for you? Was it intended?
Yes, it is intended, of course, and on different layers even. First of all, we have gymnastic in the movie. But then Spagat, I don't know how is it in Spanish, but in German, if you say to make a Spagat, means that you're balancing between two things. And Spagat is a movie about people who have to balance between things, very different things. And the interesting thing is there is also, they speak Swiss German, but there's also a Russian language in the movie because two of the protagonists are from Ukraine. And Spagat is the same in Russian too. So Spagat, it's universal. And I think it's interesting that the word is universal, but the conditions you're in life and where you have to make this Spagat can be completely the opposite.
Nice point of view. As well, all know, this section, New Directors, supports new talents with their first works, We realized over the years that there is an upcoming generation of filmmakers, advocate filmmakers, and in your case, the topic of the film embraces such a complex reality. Why did you choose this issue for your debut?
You mean why I choose it for my first feature? Because
Yes.
it's complex. Well, first, I think advocacy is quite important nowadays, and also as a filmmaker to take a position and to talk about it. Even I don't have the answers, because these are very complex questions. For example, how do you decide when you have to choose between law and what you perceive as just? It's a big question, and we have it everywhere. But I chose this topic first of all because I realized that to live somewhere and to evolve somewhere and to have friends and an environment you call it home, but you're not allowed to make this all because you're illegal. And you, as an illegal person, you don't have the chance to get a perspective at the end. And maybe you want to cry, but you can't cry, because if you cry, then everybody knows that you're illegal and, well, your livelihood is in danger. So this was the starting point to think about relationships and about love and about the socio-economic system we all live in. And everything leads in the movie to a story at the end. And for me, these are very important questions, I think, also to ask yourself, or in general, at what or to which point are you, or have you to remain loyal to someone? And does this, or what happens if this loyalty crashes with other interests, other feelings, or maybe even law? And all these quite philosophical, ethical questions are discussed in the movie, I think in a very everyday life setting. Maybe even a lot of scenes are quite well known for everybody. It doesn't depend if it's in Switzerland or in Spain or wherever, because it's at the end quite universal.
Yes, because you speak about privileges, yeah? That's, I think, the main point of view.
Yes, privileges, and also about, I think we often don't realize that everything we do has an impact on someone else. In general, we lived in a globalized world, so if you're looking at climate change or consumption, of course, I think we're starting realizing that this has an impact on other people, but it has also on a very small level, quite huge impact sometimes. And these are privileges at the end, and it's the question how to deal with that.
The actors and actresses' performances are so overwhelming. Congratulations. How did you manage to gather such a talented cast?
It was a long process, and thanks to my producer, we had also the time to do this. We started with a long casting process because it was quite difficult to find an Uliana, because her profile was just very, very high. She needs to speak several languages. She needs to be a good gymnastic, and so yeah, it was a long process. And then once we had all these different actresses and actors, we started really rehearsing, and maybe not in the most usual way. It was not a textbook and okay, now we play this, because in Swiss German is not a written language, it's only a spoken language, and you write in German, but it's quite a huge way to go from German to Swiss German, because it's a dialect and it's completely different. So we started really to work with words and to try that everybody feels completely safe how he says the things. And then I had also the chance to work with professional and non-professional actors and actors who were open to give a lot from themselves. And they were not only a character, they were also themselves in a lot of situations.
Wonderful. In your opinion, why are the film festivals necessary nowadays?
I think nowadays, exactly now in this crisis, we see what is lacking most, and this is social gatherings, this is exchange. And I think you can put this on different levels, on a personal level, on a political level, but I think we need exchange, we need to discuss, we need to find a new way to attack the future and to look in term of sustainability that there's a good future for also other generations. And film festivals for me are one of the events where this can really be done, and a lot of people from different contexts meet together. This is one, and then the other is, well, it's watching a movie together. It's more than just watching a movie at home. It's you share something, even you don't speak together, and this is the magic of cinema since it exists, yeah, for me.
I totally agree. Do filmmakers have any responsibility to culture?
Yes, I think so. Because, well, I think we live in a time where budgets for culture are usually reduced. And even there is maybe not always the most biggest economic output of a movie, because it's difficult to earn a lot of money. But I think we do something who is very important, exactly for what I meant before, gathering people together, telling something about our world, a perspective of a topic who is maybe new, and I think also we have to fight for it, that it's also in the future possible to share, yeah, all these very different point of views on some topics, but I think there's no right and wrong there, or let's say there's no black and white. It's always a lot of shades, and we have to have a look at these shades.
Yeah, the colors of the reality. Yeah.
The colors, yes.
And from the bottom of your heart, why did you do this film possible? Why did you make this possible?
How?
How and why?
Well, I was not the only person who made this film. I had a lot of persons, and this is very important. I think sometimes it's also a little bit in the background that I work with a lot of people, and without them, it wouldn't have been possible. From the beginning to the end, this is for me very important, and I'm completely grateful to have the chance to work with such interesting and also experienced people. And why? I was from 20 on abroad, and I wanted to come back to Switzerland to shoot a movie about something I really know in everyday life aspects. And maybe that's why I started. And then you have a lot of characters, and I give also all my characters the chance to evolve. And sometimes it's not me who's deciding, it's the character who's deciding what kind of road he takes.
We are running out of time. It's a pity, but because we are enjoying a lot with this interview. If you want to share something with the audience, or if you want to say something for the people who's watching or is going to watch your film.
Well, I would be very glad if you may attend one of the screenings of SPAGAT, and also very glad if you have questions, if you have something to discuss, then please address me.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and hope to see you another time here in Zinemaldia. Again, this is your home.
Thank you.
We are going to enjoy the trailer of SPAGAT. Gozatu dezazuela.
Marina, Marina, Marina.